Welcome to part 2 of this bumper episode of The Whiteout.
We've got loads to talk about, so let's crack on.
So we're going to head over to fellow Olympian Ed Drake, who's going to take us through all of the latest news and tell us what's going on in 2021.
Thank you, Emily. This season is going to be a little bit different. COVID has curtailed some of the racing and the calendar is looking a little bit different this season, but we are still getting racing, and what you'll see on the TV will be the same as always. So they've cut some of the races. They've tried to keep both men and women and also the speed side and the tech side separate so that they're not having too much intermingling. So that means that we will still get the big races. We will still be heading to Kitzbühel, we'll still be heading to Adelboden and the likes of those races, but it does mean that we won't see any crowds at all this season, which is going to be a bit of a shame. They won't be able to keep the crowds off there totally, so if you've got a lift pass, you'll still be able to get to the sides, but there just won't be any stadium skiing, which will be a bit of a shame. But we have kicked off already this season with Solden, which was a couple of weeks ago. We saw the women race on the 18th. They kicked off the season, and then the men race on the 19th. Marta Pessina of Italy picked up her second World Cup win of her career. Brignoni, who is the overall champion from the 2019-2020 season, picked up second, and Petra Vlhova picked up third. She went from 10th on the first run to ending up third on the second, so she had an absolute stormer. On the men's side, we saw Lucas Bratton, who is a Norwegian young gun. It's the first time he's ever podiumed, and he went straight to the top step with a fantastic second run. The second position was picked up by Marco Odermatt, former world junior champion. He finished just 500ths behind in second. And Gino Cavietzel, also a first-time position on the podium, rounded it off with a third place. On a British front, we saw Alex Tilley pick up 27th. She had a really, really good weekend, but she just managed to make a mistake right at the crucial part where you don't want to, off the steep onto the flat, which meant she was carrying quite a lot of less speed through that final section. But all in all, she did kick off with some good skiing, so it's promising signs for her going forward. As we're recording this, we have Levy double women's slalom this coming weekend, which is the 21st and 22nd. So if you've missed that, make sure you catch up. You can see it anywhere online. You can catch up on the Ski Racing podcast. We have all the information on there. And also coming up, which is going to be a super exciting race, is a parallel giant slalom in Lech, Austria. Both the women and the men are racing, so it's a parallel giant slalom, not normal giant slalom like you'd see on the World Cup. The radius is slightly shorter, and the distance between the gates is also shorter, which means we should have some exciting racing. That is going to be on the 26th and 27th. From a British perspective this season, Dave Riding is looking in great form. He's switched back to Fischer skis. He's sounding very comfortable. He's looking forward to this coming winter. January is going to be an absolute belter if you're a fan of slalom. There are 9 slaloms in January to get your head around. Charlie Raposo races in the giant slaloms. He's already had a crack already this season in Solden, but didn't make the second run, but his chance is looking good for this coming season. And on the ladies front, we've both got Charlie Guest and Alex Tilley, who will be competing in slalom and giant slalom. So hopefully it's going to be a bumper season for the Brits. Okay, so I think I covered everything. That was quite a lot of information to get through, but yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it is definitely going to be a really interesting season this year. Ed and I were on the team together, and this is actually really bizarre, being sitting behind a table talking about it rather than going out and training. So yeah, it's quite nice that way, though. I like it. So what do you think, Ed? Like, I was thinking, as an athlete, going into kind of an Olympic year next year, when it's kind of Olympic quali and stuff like that, what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's going to be really difficult. They can already start qualifying for the Olympic Games as of the start of this season, so that's definitely going to be in the athletes' minds. I think it's really difficult not knowing if the goalposts are going to be moved in terms of when we're actually going to get the Olympic Games. I think signs are that it should happen as planned, but obviously none of us have got a crystal ball.
Well, I know, and I think that's the difficult thing, because as an athlete, you're just really focused on goals, and you work all these little steps up to this ultimate goal, and there might be shorter goals in sight, but kind of not knowing if that might change and the goalpost might change, like you say, is always a little bit scary. So the athletes have almost got to change their mindset completely and be a little bit flexible, and also, you know, it's a pretty stressful time, Olympic criteria and hitting all those games, and a lot of competitions have already been cancelled and changed and postponed and things like that. So yeah,
I think it means that you're going to have to really perform all the time, because you can't just look at the backstop of whenever qualification sort of end date is, because you don't know what the period preceding that's going to look like. So the fact is that, a cliche of sport, but every race is going to count. Every single moment you put on the skis, whether it's in a World Cup, Europa Cup, even a FIS race now, you're going to have to make sure that every single time you race, you're putting your best foot forward, because you don't know what's going to happen around the corner.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got 22 Olympics, which I do think are going to go ahead. But the exciting thing for me is the fact that in 2026, it's coming back to Europe, which has been quite a key point, because it being kind of over in kind of China and Pyeongchang, over in Korea and stuff, it was you felt a little bit disconnected to it.
It's going to be a different feel, and we haven't been in Europe for the games since Turin, I believe, in the Winter Olympic side certainly.
Yeah.
That means sort of the classic continental Europeans live for the Olympics, and I think when we've gone further afield, their focus isn't necessarily on Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
So to have them back in Europe, I think the fanfare is going to be amazing. We're going to have loads more insight from experts, and the fans are just going to get so behind it. I absolutely can't wait, and I kind of wish that I wish that I could do it.
Yeah, because you're in Canada, I was over in Korea. The time zones are always so difficult, but to actually have that kind of like in Europe, it's almost like having a home Olympics, isn't it?
Well, as close to home as we're going to get.
Yeah, exactly. and Cortina have already put like all the steps in place to kind of like to bring it home almost, and all that heritage with the skiing they have there and stuff. They're already thinking about all the plans of how it's going to affect the future of their skiing as well.
Yeah, well, and with the World Champs this coming February, that's a big hurdle that they've got to get through, and obviously with Corona, it means that that's got a slight sort of a shadow over whether that's going to happen. But FIS's focus for the 2020-2021 season, if you can say that quickly better than I am, then that's their main focus. And if nothing else happens this season other than that, it's going to be a success for FIS this season.
Talking about Cortina and looking ahead to the future, now this is something which makes me feel pretty old. We're moving forward to the future talent of Britain, and we caught up a few of our athletes.
Hi, my name is Molly Butler and I'm 14 years old. For half of the year, well nearly half, I live in the UK, in Surrey, and for the other half, I live in Megève, in the French Alps. I represent two different clubs. So for the French, I represent Ski Club Saint-Gervais, and for the English, I represent BSA, British Ski Academy. I have different coaches. I have my mum and my dad, and I have Emma Carrick Anderson and Phil Smith, who have their three boys, who are some of my best friends. Typical ski training day for me. During the summer, I could be waking up at the early hours of 4 a.m. and during the winter from maybe 6 to 8. I can train from 3 to 6 hours a day. My best results in races last year, I took the title home of English champion. At the very end of the season, I was in Morzine and I took the title of French champion home, which I was really, really, really happy with. And that was actually my last race of the season because Corona cut it short. I really want to get down a course at the end of the year every single time and just think to myself, wow, that's a cracking run. I couldn't have done any better. I'm really pleased with that. It's not just the skiing and the racing and the adrenaline rush that I get, it's also the lifestyle, being in the mountains, having a gorgeous scenery around you. It's really like touching to the heart. Thoughts about getting to the 2026 Winter Olympics in Cortina. Quite a big thought. God, I love it. I try to focus more on the now moment because I find that if you're focusing on the now moment, then you're really, really fully focused on everything that you're doing instead of everything that's yet to come. But obviously it's a long-term goal. Can't wait to put all the effort in to get there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Hi, my name is Luca Carrick-Smith and I'm 15 years old. I live in a small village, say, in the Alps. At the moment I represent Great Britain, but I've got two clubs. Villaroger, which enables me to race in the French races, and BSA, my British club, to race in the British races.
My name is Zach Smith, I'm 13 years old. A typical training day would be, usually we wake up at 6 a.m, maybe get skiing at 8 a.m, ski all morning, and probably do some training in the afternoon. I love skiing because it's my life, it always has been, and I just love skiing, yeah. I'm definitely most proud of the Coq d'Or, which is the French Championships, which I won last year. That's my best result so far.
My name is Freddie Smith and I'm 13 years old. Well, I think that it's very possible to get to the Olympics in 2026, but I think that it's going to be very tight. My favourite ski resort is Saas-Fee, because the snow's brilliant. There's loads of World Cup ski racers that ski there, and it's just a really nice glacier to ski on.
Hi, my name is Reese Bell. I am 19 years old and I live in Vail, Colorado and in Denver, Colorado. I race with the University of Denver ski team and for the Great Britain national team. My typical day of training begins in Denver and then we head up to Loveland Resort where we train for around 2 hours and then drive back to campus. The drives are pretty long, so I generally do homework. And then in the afternoon, I attend my classes. And some of the days I will do another smaller workout, such as lifting or riding the spin bike. My best race result, points-wise, happened last year at a college invitational race. It is challenging to set goals for this season because I'm not exactly sure what the season will look like with COVID-19, but I hope to get my GS skiing to the same level or close to the same level as my slalom skiing, and just to lower my points in both events. I love skiing because it's a really great way to find like a mindfulness with everything going on in your life. It can get really busy and it can be hard to stay focused on one thing. The 2026 Winter Olympic Games in Cortina are 6 years away, and it would be amazing if I could qualify for that. I have a lot of time to raise my skiing to the level that I need, and I just think it would be a huge milestone for me and for all the people who have helped me out along the way. My favorite ski resort would have to be either anywhere in the Alps or Big Sky, Montana, because Big Sky has really amazing free skiing that is also accessible by the lift and by Ski Patrol.
It does take me back a little bit though. I mean, all those fun times on those trips at that age.
I know, you just don't realise how much of a good time it is until you're too old.
So Ed, thanks so much for coming. But where can we find out all the info on ski racing?
Yeah, you can keep up to date on the Ski Racing podcast, and that we produce stuff every week on the World Cup, and keep up to date there.
We all know that having the right insurance is essential when we're going on our ski holiday, arguably now more than ever. But it is quite confusing when you get all of that jargon and all the technicalities when it comes to actually getting the right insurance. Luckily, I've got Michael Pettifer here from MPI Brokers, and you are basically the ski specialist insurance for the UK. So I've got a few questions here which are going to help us and our audience. So we just need to know, kind of firstly, what exactly we need when it comes to winter insurance.
Well, the winter insurance for skiing, is the important thing is to identify that you're buying a skier's policy which is designed for skiers. And of course, in the coming winter, you'll be looking to see whether COVID is insured. And the important bit there is that medical expenses is covered when abroad, which at MPI we do cover, provided there's no FCDO warning against orbit essential travel, which is common throughout the market. You can travel under our policy with a warning, but you're just not insured for the reason for the warning, in this case at the moment, COVID.
You've lost me a little bit there. FCO warning, I'm hearing this a lot at the moment. So if I'm wanting to go skiing, am I covered or am I not?
If there's a warning in place, which there currently is for most of Europe,
Yeah.
from the FCDO. With most policies, you can't travel at all. You're not insured at all for anything. Some of them, and MPI is one, will cover you to travel under that warning, other than the reason for the warning.
So what you're saying there is if I went skiing and broke my leg, I would be covered, but if I went and I contracted COVID-19, I wouldn't be insured.
That is absolutely correct.
Okay, so Michael, that is the situation right now. Is that going to be the same throughout the whole of the winter season, or could that change, from date to date?
It is a movable feast, as we know. The advice being given by governments and other authorities is changing almost daily. Yes, it probably will change throughout the winter. If things improve, obviously the insurance cover will improve with it.
So it's always kind of sensible, kind of if you were to pick up that insurance kind of next week, that we always kind of revisit and speak to the experts like yourself at MPI to kind of get the correct information for that time of travel.
Absolutely correct.
So we've been following these travel restrictions kind of all summer and stuff. So if those travel advice kind of changes within the winter season, how would that affect kind of my cover? Back to that situation we talked about earlier, my broken leg is covered if I contracted COVID-19.
When, let's hope, the warning is removed, so there is no comment from the FCO, then it's back to normal. So cover is there.
Brilliant. Yeah. So I'm just going to look at kind of people who are going for their season, So you're 18, 19, you're going for your season trip. How does kind of that kind of insurance affect? Because they're going to be there for a long period. How does your insurance cover for your seasonaires?
Well, the seasonaires is simply a longer period. The main difference between that and a normal tourist policy is the premium. It's higher because they're out there longer, so they select a period that suits the period that the time they're going to be out there.
Yes, so it's just a change of that time period, but the same things we've just been speaking about before with it going in and out of the travel advice and stuff would still all remain the same.
Nothing changes. Yeah, it's all the same.
Speaking to someone like me, I do like to go off piste and I do like to do stupid things like ski cross, but not everyone does that. However, kind of for those people who do like to kind of raise their heart rate a little bit and get off piste and stuff, how does the cover change then? Normally, it's some insurances say just for on piste. What would we need to look for if we were going to go off piste?
Look for a policy that covers off piste, preferably with no restrictions on who you ski with. Quite a lot of them will require you to ski with a guide.
Okay.
A mountain guide. At MPR, we've been insuring people for decades. And when I first started in this business, there were pistes, but not as much as there are today. So you expected a ski policy to cover you to ski off piste, as we do now, with no restrictions.
What's the most common mistakes people do when they're purchasing their ski insurance?
The first one, do you want that one? They don't buy it. They don't insure. They forget. If they're booking with a travel company, they're potentially in breach of their terms and conditions of their travel company. Again, that's their choice. But there are those that forget, and we find them ringing up from the airport, on the transfer bus on the way out. The other one that people make a mistake on is not to book their travel insurance, their ski insurance, at the time of when they book the trip.
Yeah.
That is really important, because you're incurring a liability, the customer is incurring a liability for the cost of the trip. And should, heaven forbid, something happen between booking and date of travel, which can be anything up to 3, 4, 5 months, and you hurt yourself playing hockey, or you have a car accident, or you fall sick, and you can't go, and it could be several £1,000s, and you haven't bought your insurance, then you're on your own. The other thing people do is then buy it at the last minute. When I say last minute, then last minute before they go to see the doctor, and that causes trouble.
Can you actually purchase your travel insurance if you are in a foreign country, or do you have to be in the UK to purchase?
Strictly speaking, you have to be in the UK, and to a large extent, the travel insurance industry do stipulate that is the case. There are some like us that you can buy from abroad. We have structures in place where that is allowed.
Okay, so there is, if you have
Yeah.
accidentally forgotten,
Yeah.
there still is that ability
That
to go out
ability's
there and
there,
get
yeah.
there. When it comes to kind of geographical, do you need a different insurance for Europe as to the US or Canada? Kind of is there different insurances out there, or is it one fits?
It's the same policy. It just makes sure when you buy that you click the right button. It'll say worldwide, or it will say USA, Canada. And if you click Europe, you're covered to do Europe.
Now, after the 31st of December, are we Europe or do we have to click worldwide? Or
No,
is it where I'm
no,
travelling to?
it's Europe. It'll still be Europe.
Okie dokes.
Whether the premiums go up because of the lack of the EHIC, the European Health Insurance Card, we don't know yet.
Okay.
The deal has not yet done.
Okay, so would it be smart to get my travel insurance if I'm thinking about
Yes.
going away now?
Yes. Yes.
Because that premium...
That's fixed.
Oh, right,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, it won't change once you bought.
Well,
For new business, after the 1st of January, it might change. We don't know yet.
so we've talked about the individual. What about when we're travelling with a family and actual children for insurance? How does it work with them? Do I need to get them their own separate policy, or are there policies which include them all?
No, you can buy a policy which most providers will have a family click button. If not, when you put the ages of family and children in, it'll automatically give you a family policy. And the main difference is in the premium rating, which is usually behind the scenes. You won't necessarily be able to work it out.
But they
Yeah.
have this exactly the same cover
They have exactly
as
the same cover,
adults.
yeah. The one thing on that, if children are travelling, or being insured, should I say, independently of their parents, there are a lot of policies out there that won't do it. So
Okay.
do come to MPI because we do.
So that's really interesting about the kids, because obviously I used to do a lot of that racing on my own and my parents were never around, so it's great that there is a policy which you can be independently as a child and covered. Now, I just want to touch upon someone who might be going out for the season, because there might be the seasonaires who are going out, it might be the kids racing, but also now that we can work from home and we can potentially work from the mountains, there might be some people who are considering going and moving, working from home out in the mountains, living the dream. So extended cover, what do you say about that?
Well, we call that long stay,
Okay,
which is basically exactly the same as the seasonaires,
right.
but it tends to be that they're not working in a bar. They're working, doing their office work, which would normally be in
the city,
in the
locked
city, or Surrey or Sussex, and they just move themselves to Val d'Isère or to Tignes or wherever, and they can do exactly the same. And if the lift's open, they can go off and do some skiing.
So if you want to find out any more information, you can go to npibrokers.com, or you can just pick up the phone and Michael's team will be able to help you out. He's the guru of ski insurance for the UK. So thank you so much for coming, Michael, and helping me out, increasing my knowledge on the subject. But yeah, I hopefully will see you out in the mountains and be getting that insurance.
Hopefully. Thank you very much indeed.
Now, we might not be able to hit the slopes just yet, but this is a perfect opportunity to update our ski gear. One thing I'm personally looking forward to, after many years of racing and wearing the most uncomfortable, tightest boots, because it's all about the precision, is that I can now wear ski boots which actually feel like slippers. It's amazing. It's a revolutionary for me.
It's true, Emily. You know, ski boots do not have to be uncomfortable, unless you're a ski racer, of course. But for most skiers, there's so many things can now be done in the store. And so we sent one of our team, Henry Druce, down to one of our favourite local ski stores, Finch's, to see how they actually fit and custom fit every boot to each customer, so they get the perfect fit for a skier.
My trusty old ski boots have skied their last run. I need a new pair, the most crucial bit of kit you can buy. Get it right and you're en route to on-slope happiness. Get it wrong and a world of pain and discomfort awaits. And that's why I'm here in southeast London at specialist ski shop Finch's. It's like a giant sweet shop for snow sports fans. The most important person to steer you towards comfort and joy is your boot fitter. Let's go and meet Finch's specialist boot fitter, Bradley Finch. So Bradley, what is the first stage in the process?
So generally we ask a few questions to the customer, like their ability level, try and gauge where they're happy at. Also things like their budget and stuff like that. And we measure the foot. We have a look at the foot and look at things like pronation and supination, which is basically whether your foot stands neutral or rolls in or rolls out. We do things like shell fits, so we actually put your foot into the plastic shell and have a look around there, make sure there's nothing touching, no bone spurs or any previous injuries that may be giving you any issues for further skiing down the line.
And why should I get my boots fitted here rather than anywhere else?
We try our hardest to listen to our customers, and everything they have to say is important. We're not super duper strict. We're not trying to get you into a World Cup race boot. We want you to be comfortable on the hill, unless you want a World Cup race boot. And yeah, we do things like our comfort guarantee, which is we basically any physical augmentation we do to the boot, so expanding shells, stuff like that, grinding, it's all free of charge after you purchase the boot. And that's also kind of like over a duration of time, so you can go out skiing, you can go to places like the Snow Dome, have a play in the boots, come back to us and we can tweak things, and that's over kind of a fairly long period of time.
So it's up to 5 years, is that
It
correct?
can be up to 5 years, yeah. I mean, hopefully we'll get it sorted way before then, but yeah, we can take all the way up to 5 years if you need.
So I guess the next thing we need to do is find a pair of boots.
Yeah, cool. So we've taken the measurements, around 26 and a half. What I've got here is a pair of Salomon S Pro 130s. This is more of the kind of higher range, higher level set of boots here for a good skier. And also we've got some intermediate Hawk Prime 100s, which are kind of like a nice, most of my customers will go for like a 100 flex boot. That's my bread and butter at the moment.
How many boots would you normally pull out for a customer?
We try and keep it to a minimal really. We don't want to kind of overwhelm you with loads of boots. We have quite a wide range here. So by taking the measurements and having asking the questions that we did previously, we can narrow it down to 3 to 4 sets of boots, generally speaking.
So you're going to be able to find something for everyone?
Definitely.
So what's going on here?
So at the moment, this machine will be pumping hot air into the boot, helping the liners to become soft and expand ever so slightly. So when we put your feet inside them, they'll just take a nice shape of your foot.
So we've got the inner boot sorted, and now we're doing the shell.
Yep. So this oven goes up to about 120 degrees, puts a bit of heat inside the shell itself, and that will allow the shell to actually flex around your foot if needs be. So whilst it's heating, we can go down and start doing your custom footbeds if you wish.
Yes, please.
Cool, follow me.
So what exactly are we doing here, Bradley?
So what we're doing here is actually making a bespoke custom footbed for your ski boots to help you kind of stand neutral and also just give you comfort and, like I said before, good support. We end up with something like this, which we can put into any ski boot, your own ski boot that you're buying now, or even an old pair of boots you've had for many years. You just want to give it a fresh lease of life.
It's taken an hour and I've now got my new custom fitted boots. I can't wait to try them out on the slopes, hopefully in a month's time.
So during lockdown, many of us had to transition and start to work from home. So we were no longer chained to that city desk. In fact, kind of the term working from home, could that be, if we have the Wi-Fi and we have the internet connection, could we work from anywhere? I mean, we all have that little dream of having that chalet on the ski slopes where we could do our day job, but equally enjoy that amazing environment and get to ski every day.
It's the ultimate scenario, isn't it, Emily? But, you know, we actually caught up with Terrasons. They're a property developer in the French Alps. And Megan interviewed James Ross, who's the MD of Terrasons, to ask him how possible it actually is to invest in alpine property and actually live the dream and spend some time there.
So could living the dream become the actual reality? Let's see.
It's a nice thought.
Hi James, how are you?
Hi Megan, very well, and you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Strange times, but keeping well.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
Terrasons, tell us a little bit about what it is you guys do.
Terrason as a group, we were set up in 2008 as a developer and of luxury alpine ski property. Along with developing, we also manage and look after our own property. So if you want the property to be rented and looked after for you, that's what we do.
So with everything going on at the moment, I mean, is this a good time to buy in the Alps?
Sure. Well, I guess there's never really a bad time, but we have seen a lot of people who have been waiting for that dreaded B word, which I'm not going to mention, but it's been sort of, 4.5 years now. And I think a lot of people feel more confident with where it's going. So that has given people confidence to go and buy a dream for a lot of people. It's a 10, 20, 30-year program for them. COVID, for sure, has played its own role in that, where people think, well, do we want to have our own sort of bolt hole in the Alps that we can escape to?
So how simple is it to actually purchase property in the Alps?
I guess there's always trepidation in doing anything, especially, large purchases in another country. But that's very much where we come in with a developer, with a managing agent, and, the UK operation was set up to really look after the UK and international clients from the very beginning. So, the partnership starts with us from the first initial phone call right through to purchasing the property, changing the plans around if that's what you want, and then managing and renting the property out for you. So, these are long-term partnerships. And in terms of how easy it is, so we provide tried and tested mortgage brokers, been working with for years, fully vetted, notaires to be your legal representatives in France. So, that whole process is, you're not going to do it on your own. We're very much there the whole way.
So what would the key things to consider be for someone that's thinking about potentially buying a property in the Alps?
Well, it's, location, where you want to be. And if you're looking to have the property as an investment, which most people do. So we always build in really sort of good, solid resorts where the investment is going to be there for strong rental and capital growth over the long term.
So pick a resort that's going to be somewhere your investment will continue, basically.
Absolutely, yeah. Another thing you need to think about when purchasing a property is mortgages. What sort of mortgage are you looking for? At the moment in France, rates are terrific. And the difference with the UK and France is you can lock that rate in for the duration of the mortgage. That can really be quite attractive.
So it's a good time to buy.
Absolutely. Taking families on holiday to the Alps a couple of times a year can be very expensive. Financially, this can be very beneficial. Most of our clients want it to pay for itself, and why wouldn't you? And that's really changed in the last, say, 5 years.
And I mean, you've pretty much kind of answered this next question already, in the sense of making life so easy for people. But why is it so important to go through such a reliable company as yourselves?
It's no secret there are horror stories throughout even Europe where people have been burnt. What we offer is to have no third parties. We do absolutely everything and hold our client's hand all the way.
Are you seeing a little bit more of a demand for people actually thinking, I don't really need to be in London or Manchester or wherever they're based, I could do the same job I'm doing?
No, you're absolutely right. That has very much changed during COVID. We're very much seeing a new type of client who is looking for a bolt hole in the Alps where they can work for extended periods of time. We also know that having a very strong broadband connection within the developments is important. We've actually even created a couple of apartments within our developments that have offices in them.
I've heard it's even possible to claim the VAT back when you purchase a property in France.
So essentially what you're doing to get the VAT back is you're commercializing the property. So you're putting it up for rental and management. The French government likes that because you're helping the local economy, you're having warm beds. So essentially what they're saying is, thanks for buying the property, commercializing it, and we're going to reward you and give you the 20% VAT back as a rebate for doing that.
And finally, I mean, is there anywhere that you would recommend as a sort of a must-buy area at the moment? You know, do you have any insider tips?
We're seeing a model for people who want to be closer to airports. We have a development in Combloux, which is near Megève, which is absolutely beautiful. And that's just an hour from Geneva Airport. And that's very much geared up for families. So there's a kids club there, a lovely indoor and outdoor pool. It's ski out through this magic carpet we've created. And also in the summer, it's got a lovely lake there with views of Mont Blanc. So that is really something which is quite special for those who have families who don't want to travel too far, but have everything once you're there. And we're launching 2 new developments in Switzerland, which is, again, another new string to our bow, if you like. We've never been in Switzerland before, but these are really going to be something quite special.
So Rob and Emily, there you go. There's some tips and advice for you if you're looking to buy your next place in the mountains. And thank you very much for chatting to us, James. It was a pleasure.
So this winter, people's priorities might be a little bit different when it comes to their ski holidays. So I don't know about you, Rob, but one of my favourite things on ski holidays is the food.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's part of a ski holiday, isn't it? You know, eating is definitely part of one of my ski holidays. I mean, it's part of my
everyday life. I wake up thinking about food. I'm thinking about food when I go to sleep. But yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to indulge when I'm going on a ski holiday.
I wake up thinking about skiing, but then just end up eating a lot of food. No, but ski holidays, it's really important, isn't it, for us? And but this year, you know, that restaurants might be operating differently. Some people might not want to go into restaurants this winter. But chalet operators are doing a lot to, you know, change the way that they bring food to their guests as well. And we caught up with Chalet's 1066, and they're based in the French resort of Leger, and they told us about what they're doing this winter.
Thanks, Rob. We're here in Leger now. I'm Mark Nathan, and I'm with my colleague Ben. We run Chalet 1066. Also with Joe and Martin from 2 companies we work with. I'm here to talk the sorts of choices and options you've got here in Leger. Firstly, about Chalet 1066. We've been growing our business for 12 years now. We run nearly 40 properties in Leger, from basic economy to luxury properties, from 1 to 6 bedrooms. So we've got something for everybody. But our basic philosophy is to offer customers value and choice. And the way we do that is we offer the basic self-catered accommodation, and we have a range of partners that we work with to provide all the other services, but all in the knowledge that we're here in the village, we know the village, we live here, so we can make sure you have a great holiday, and if anything goes wrong, we're there to help out. Firstly, I'd like to hand over to Martin. He used to work at the Savoy Hotel as a chef. He now runs Bon Appetit.
Hi, I'm Martin from Bon Appetit Alps, a gourmet online meal delivery service. We create a extensive international menu of about 60 different delicious dishes. There really is something for everybody. You can order online before your holiday or order before 4 p.m. for the same night delivery. We are very mindful of the planet, from our waste to our packagings. We cut out all the faff. It is your holiday after all.
Thanks, Martin. I have to say, we keep a stock of Martin's food in our freezer at Chalet Hastings, as the French would say, because if we're on a busy changeover day, we don't know if we're going to finish at 5 or midnight. And we know we've got a really good quality meal there we can just warm up easily. So I'd now like to hand over to Joe. He worked at a number of Michelin restaurants in the UK. He's now been running his business here for 8 years, locally, providing really good chefs to cook meals for people on ski holidays.
Hi, I'm Joe from The Chef Cellar. We are a Morzine-based wine wholesaler and caterer. We provide wine deliveries and catering services in the area, including to Leger. We work very closely with a local team of chefs. They're all proven to very high standard in restaurant. They may have worked on luxury boats, they may have worked Michelin star standard. They'll come into your chalet with hostesses, set up your table, make your meals, clean down everything, leave the place spotless like they've never been there. The packages start at a very reasonable €40 per day per person. That includes half board, so you've got your breakfast, dinner, afternoon tea, and you've even got wine included with the evening meal. For those who like the wine deliveries, that's available starting at just €29 for a mixed case of 6 bottles of wine. Free delivery in Leger, free delivery to all 1066 customers. We have over 85 wines in our cave, A bit for every taste and every budget. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Joe. One of the great things about Joe's service is you're getting a highly qualified chef. And I'd like to hand over to Ben. Ben's going to tell you a bit more about Leger and why Leger is such a great resort to have a ski holiday.
My name's Ben. I'm the resort manager here at Chalet 1066. I've got 10 seasons experience in the industry, working both as a ski instructor and resort manager. Leger is in the Port du Soleil, which is the second biggest ski area in the world. It's 625 kilometers of piste on one ski pass. The actual resort Leger is divided up into two sides. You have the Chauvin side and the Moncherie side. On the Chauvin side, it's got a fantastic beginner area, many blue runs, and the connection into Morzine and then the Port du Soleil. The Moncherie side, which you can see behind me now, is mostly reds and blacks. The crowds usually don't come over this side, which means on a busy week, it's fantastic. There's no queues, the pistes are quiet, and because of that, the snow stays in great condition. And the town of Leger is absolutely fantastic. It has everything you need. It has many bars and restaurants, a huge spa, Outer Lumina, which is a brand new tourist attraction this year, the first in Europe, with a fantastic light show and holograms. Leger is my favourite place to be, and I'm very happy to live here.
Thanks, Ben. Obviously, every session like this has to have a few words about coronavirus. My brother's a doctor, and we developed our cleaning standards in line with his recommendations. Done a lot of work, and we use very high quality, very expensive cleaning materials. Finally, I just hope we are able to see you in Leger. It's a great place to take a ski holiday, and it's great for any level of skier. Thanks.
Now, Rob, we know you love your skis and you're going to get a little bit techie on us now, so we're just going to pop off, grab some accessories and we'll be back.
Bye, girls. I've got the K2 Mindbender 90 Ti here. K2, the last few years, they've really come up with the goods. They're a very innovative company, they always have been, but I think the last couple of years, they've brought out some new skis, including the Mindbender range, that have really taken the whole ski world by storm. This one here, the 90 mil underfoot version, the Mindbender, it's a free ride ski, but it's an all mountain free ride. So if you're the kind of skier that loves to ski on piste and off piste when the conditions are right, this is the kind of one ski does it all that you might be looking for. 90 underfoot, so very responsive on piste. It's also got a Titanal metal plate that runs through the ski, and they call this the Y-beam because it looks like an actual Y shape. So it's not in the middle of the ski here, it's just on either side. Also on the tail of the ski as well. And what that does, it just gives that torsional stiffness, but at the same time, with the torsional stiffness, also a lot of response as well. So it makes it easier to ski, but also keeps that really good grip on hard packed snow. I have skied on this one. It is a very powerful ski. I think it would suit someone that is quite a sort of an aggressive skier and wants to really charge, you know, on and off piste. So this is the K2 Mindbender 90 Ti. It's available from Ellis Brigham and Snow Tracks in the UK. So I'm now going to grab another ski. This is the K2 Disruption. It's brand new for this winter season. It's £700 retail. It looks absolutely fantastic. Again, you know, K2 have redesigned and rethought their entire piste range, and this Disruption looks really slick. I haven't had the chance to ski on this one yet. I'm really looking forward to doing that this winter. But you know, what K2 are saying is that it's a high performance ski for the piste. And it's got a dampening system, a new dampening system in the ski that really makes the performance, you know, that sort of high end performance, but also doesn't add weight to the ski. They've done that in quite a clever way. They've done that with carbon inside the ski that they've wedged between the layers of the ski, but in a slightly different way to how that's been done before. So this is called the dark matter damping system, and if you want all the tech on it, check it out on K2's website. It is really impressive. This is the K2 Disruption MTI. It retails for £700 and it's available from Ellis Brigham and Snow Tracks. There's also a woman's version of the ski available called the Disruption MTI Alliance. Same price, £700, and also available from Ellis Brigham and Snow Tracks. So I've got the new Armada Declivity ski here. It's a £540 retail price, available from Ellis Brigham. It's a real classic all-mountain front-side freeride ski and great on piste as well. Titanal banding that runs through the ski. That means that torsionally it's nice and stiff, you know, making that grip on hard-packed snow easier to control. But it screams sort of all mountain, this ski, to me. It looks fantastic. It's nice and light. It's got an AR100 sidewall on there, and it's got Armada's Comp Series base on as well. So yeah, if you're looking for an all-mountain freeride ski this season, 92 millimeters underfoot, for a good price point, then I think the Armada Declivity looks really interesting. I've got a new ski here from Armada. It's called the Stranger. It's 100 mil underfoot. It's kind of like a freeride, freestyle ski. It looks like so much fun. It's the kind of ski that, you know, if you want to hit the groomers all day long, they've designed it so it's really grippy on piste. You know, those groomers are just going to suck it all up. But obviously, if the power comes, you can get out there with that 100 mil underfoot and have a lot of fun. You can see there's like a twin rocker on there as well. So tip and tail, so it's got that kind of freestyle element to it. So it's a lot of fun. You can probably take it in the park, you know, and have a real good play on the ski. So yeah, £540, available from Absolute Snow, and it's the Stranger from Armada, 100 mil underfoot. So I think Megan and Emily are going to join me again. Where are they? Oh, there. Hi. Oh, you're back again. Got rid of the skis now.
We are with some more gadgets.
Ah, brilliant.
I mean, I'll kick us off because this will definitely come in handy if you're thinking about purchasing any of the skis Rob was just talking about. I mean, if you're anything like me and you lose things all the time, even skis can get lost. I'm just going to throw it out there. You can be at an apro bar, you know, and you see there's hundreds and hundreds of pairs of skis. And actually, when you stop and think about it, you think it's a bit ridiculous that you can pay £300 or £400 for a pair of skis and then just leave them on the floor. So something like a ski lock is essential, really, if you're thinking about protecting your skis when you're on the mountains. This one is one of our favourites. You can fit the skis through the middle there, and then you can even put the poles in, because a lot of ski locks, they don't attach the poles as well. So even though you've locked up your skis, your poles are still sort of just left to do their own thing. Whereas this actually includes the poles in the ski lock. You just wrap it around and clip it in, and your skis and your poles will be secure.
It's nice and light as well, isn't it? I mean, that would fit into a ski jacket pocket.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, obviously, if you had a backpack, easily into the backpack, but it would actually go into your pocket. And it is a pretty sensible thing if you own a pair of skis, you know, to lock them up.
So that's the Ski Security Ski Lock, and it's available at skilock.co.uk, and it's about £29.99. So for the price of protecting an expensive pair of skis, definitely worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, good little stocking filler there. Now, let me show you this. I'm quite a fan of this because I'm one of those people who I'm never very good at packing light, but this is kind of like one of those bags which is, it's 45 litres, but it still fits kind of like within the cabin, which is really cool. It's actually the Dakine or the Dakine, which we could argue about this all day, but it's the Ranger travel pack. The beauty thing about this, I've actually kind of like pulled out one of the straps here, but everything actually kind of goes inside as well. So it's really kind of like, you don't get any of those your straps or anything. Yeah, you don't get anything stuck. And you're actually, it's a backpack, but they're kind of hidden in this back pocket as well. Great thing about it, obviously, kind of if you're going away on your ski trip, even if you're like long weekend, whatever it might be, you can get all of your kit kind of in there. But there's kind of pouches for the city as well. So it's got kind of your laptop pouch and stuff like that. But you've got your water pouch here, and there's also another pouch inside, which essentially it could be for your probe and your shovel if needed, but it's not a specific like backcountry backpack.
So you could use it,
but you could kind of use it for that kind of thing as well.
Yeah, it's
pouches.
It's got so many pouches, and yeah, just it's like really durable material, really good solid zips.
How much does that retail for?
So it's actually about €139, and you can get it from the dakine-shop.com.
Good to know.
So I've got a Ski Mojo here. Ski Mojo, it's a device that is literally worn by thousands of skiers these days. It's a pretty well-known product, but there has been an evolution of Ski Mojo over the last couple of years. They've actually developed this new harness system. So if you're wearing a Ski Mojo that's maybe 2 or 3 years old, you probably don't have the same system as this. This is making it easier to get on and off. Basically, you can wear this harness, put it on in the morning, and then you can clip the Ski Mojo on after that.
Now this is that's pretty good in my eyes, because the other one was actually quite cumbersome.
Sometimes
and
it's
people
hard to
were
get
having
on.
to wear them like over ski trousers and stuff like that because it was maybe a little bit large. So that is a bit of a game changer in my eyes.
It is a game changer. I mean, you don't, the thing is with this, you don't see people that are wearing ski mojos because they do wear them generally underneath their ski pants. And you might need a slightly baggier ski pant, but actually they go under most ski pants. The way it works, a hydraulic spring here, or a spring system, at the moment the spring's not set, but when you put it on, you click a little switch, and the spring kicks in, and it just supports your entire lower part of the body. And it really works incredibly well.
So essentially we're saying it's kind of a suspension system which you kind of attach to your knee. So I've kind of like I think I've had 4 surgeries now on my knee, so I kind of know that skiing can kind of take its toll on there. So this kind of thing, I think in years to come might be one of my best mates.
Oh no, I mean me too. My knees are tricky things, and when you've skied for a long time, they do take a pounding. So many people that I know that use this product, they said they wouldn't be able to ski unless they had a ski mojo. They literally wouldn't be able to do it. So
I actually tried it myself. I've not had knee problems. I'm quite lucky in that regard. But I tested it out just to kind of see what it was like, and I could not believe the difference. Genuinely, I didn't think it would really make that much of a difference for me, but it seriously did. It really changes the way you can ski. You can do a lot more.
Absolutely.
You can
It gives you a lot of power.
Yeah, you can push a lot harder than you are used to.
Yeah, for sure.
So I really liked it, and I now recommend it to anyone that actually has.
I mean, there is an argument to say, even if you don't have a knee injury, you could use a ski mojo to enhance the way that you turn and the power that it gives you in those turns. You can really feel that
I've never
force
carved
through
like
the.
it.
Yeah, no, I know it is. It is incredible.
Took it off and I was unhappy.
But everyone from pro skiers use it. I know Shemi Alcott uses it sometimes for herself as well. Obviously, she's had knee surgery too, but just ordinary skiers who need to help themselves, and maybe they've been skiing a long time and they need a bit of assistance. It retails for around £500 from skimojo.com. But yeah, it's a great device, and it definitely keeps a lot of people out there on the slopes that might not be skiing if they didn't have one. Well, we can't have a gear guide without a pair of gloves, can we? Arguably the most important accessory you're going to have if you go on the ski slopes this winter. So these are the Dakine Maverick Gore-Tex, retail for 52 quid, £52, which I think for a Gore-Tex glove like this with a leather palm as well, an outer is really good. They look great. They're a little bit large for me. This is a size large. They're a bit smaller. I might have stuck them in my back pocket, but I'm not going to get away with that. But they do feel really, really nice. And when you get those new gloves, and sometimes they're a bit stiff like that. Not at all with these. They're just really, they're really, really nice and flexible. So, waterproof and breathable Gore-Tex gloves. Warm? Well, I'd imagine they're really warm. They feel warm. They certainly feel warm. Obviously hard to tell in here, but they just feel like they're going to be a warm, breathable and waterproof glove. And of course, breathability is so important in gloves. It keeps your hands warm, because if they get wet, that's when they get cold. So yeah, you can get this from the Dakine website, £52. Definitely a good investment, I would say, if you're going skiing this winter.
So if you do want any more inspiration on any gear or want to read up further on anything we've talked about today, just head to InTheSnow.com. We've got a huge gear guide on there and you'll be browsing for hours, I'm sure.
So to celebrate this bumper edition, we have also got some competitions for you.
Yeah, we've got some great prizes. We've got 2 return tickets with Euro Tunnel, so you can drive to the Alps. That's a great prize. We've got ski jacket from Cortazzo, the brand that you can see in our gear guide. Really nice jacket. We've got the Aluna coconut rum as well, which is a great prize. And we've got a prize for a holiday in Crans-Montana.
Nice. So if you want to enter any of those competitions, just head across to InTheSnow.com/competitions and you can enter there.
So Emily, we were supposed to be out in the mountains filming this show, but obviously we're not. We're here in the UK. But I'm going to make you a little cocktail, something that reminds me of Val d'Isère. Thunder Toffee vodka, because that's where it's from. So I'm going to make this cocktail. I've got a recipe here. I've never made this one before, but it looks really, really easy.
Okay.
Shall I give it a go?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so I've got a cocktail shaker. Here we go, Thunder Toffee vodka. looks good. I've got 50 milliliters that I'm going to put into this cocktail shaker here.
Have you got a measurer?
No.
Go on then, off your trot. Let's see your 50 millilitres.
50 millilitres. There you go.
Yep, perfect. Half the bottle.
Okay, that's 50 millilitres of that.
That's our 50 millilitres.
I've got some apple schnapps here. I'm going to put 25 millilitres of apple schnapps.
Yep, that looks like a nice, generous 25.
Yeah, okay. And then some fresh apple juice. I've got that here, 25 millilitres of fresh apple juice. Just a little bit of a pour there. Stick that in. That's about 25 millilitres. Yep. Certainly, there's definitely more toffee vodka in there than the apple juice. And a little squirt, 12 millilitres of lemon juice. That's a little squirt of lemon juice there. And of course, it says here, shake well. So shaken, not stirred. Make sure a little bit of a... I've got 2 prepared glasses here for you, Emily. There's one. It's going all over the place.
I hope there's no electrics around here.
Look at this, come on. Isn't this just a great way to end our filming day, Emily? A little bit of a toffee vodka. Yeah, I think I got the measurements just right.
Maybe, but Rob, you know I'm pretty competitive, so actually, I thought I'd bring something along to compete with it, yeah.
Oh wow, that looks impressive.
I've actually got a coconut hot chocolate for us to try, coconut rum hot chocolate.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, so it's an Aluna coconut rum. Just to tell you what it is, it's a sublime blend of smooth rums from Guatemala and the Caribbean with an all-natural toasted coconut flavours.
Sounds lovely.
And pure coconut water. But basically, with this hot chocolate, it's working pretty well.
Oh yeah?
So just, give you a little go.
Thank you. Aluna coconut.
Just think of this in your hip flask, or when you're on the mountains, or even if you're in the UK, you can bring a little bit of ski into your living room, have a little hot chocolate with coconut rum.
It smells chocolatey and coconutty, funny enough.
That's the 2 mixes, that's pretty good.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, it's very warming as well, isn't it?
I like that.
Oh, yeah.
That might be my new drink of choice on the mountain. So on that note, Rob, I think that's time for us to sign off for today. We'll be back with the next episode of The Whiteout. Rob's going to get tucked into that toffee vodka.
And you're going to get tucked into that Aluna coconut rum.
Cheers.
Cheers.